Okay, here we are. Once again, good morning, everybody. Good morning, people who want to lose weight, people who want to keep it off, people who want to go party in far off places like Greece, Las Vegas, and still want to lose weight. So, we are here to speak to you today. As you can see, I have two very special people here. This is further proof that I am either the world's most courageous man or the world's biggest masochist, and I'm not sure yet. But I have a couple of real ass kickers here. Very powerful women. Between the two of you, you're what, 10 feet maybe? I think I'm taller than both of you if one of you was standing on the other's shoulders.
Mhm.
But someone would make a very big mistake if they were to underestimate either of you. I will not do that. Okay? Meanwhile, say good morning. Kat's got your tongue. Am I on mute here?
Good morning.
Say good morning, everyone. Everyone, so this is Jennifer and
Hi.
Stella.
Hi.
Their stories are really cool. We're going to get into it. I don't see this going, by the way, less than 3 hours with the two of you on here. I think it's right.
You're so bad.
Oh, it gets worse.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get started here. So, by the way, Stella, and I was saying this to you, I didn't think you were going to come on today. So when you look at what I wrote on the caption, it was about Jen. It didn't even include you. I'm going to see if I could change that somehow.
That's okay. That's okay.
I don't want to give you no billing at all, Stella.
Oh, I certainly appreciate that. I had a crazy morning and I have someone installing an alarm system. So if I will mute quickly if my alarm starts to trigger if he's doing any tests. But yeah,
Much
I am.
appreciated.
I'm happy to participate and happy to share part of my story and to just talk about what a fan I am of the program.
Thank you. All right, good. So where should we start off here? I shouldn't ask you that. I'm putting you on the spot. Everyone's nervous as it is. All right, I should start you off. I promised I'd ask you questions. We'd have a conversation. A couple of people are on. If you have any questions for Jen and Stella, we can get started. So why don't we start out this way? Jen, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to us in our program.
Well, I started a few years ago. I'm trying to remember what year I actually did the program first time. It was 2017. So it's been a while. And I came to you because I tried everything else under the sun. And I'm very good at diets and they work until they don't work anymore.
Mm,
I always hit a plateau. I've always worked out. I've always done everything I'm supposed to do with diet. And I came to you at a deadline. And when I first came, I was like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle this because it was pretty strict. But it worked and it worked and it kept working. And I was off the program for years. And I came back, I think it was last year, just to lose a few more pounds. And it's the only diet that I think that I kept it off and I changed completely. And I think Stella could agree with that, right?
we hear that so much. Like this is the only program that's ever worked. I hear that from so many people. But when you initially did the program, how much weight did you need to lose, and what was the final straw that brought you to us?
God, I don't really remember. I think I lost close to 35 pounds, I think.
35 pounds. Got it.
And I just couldn't take doing every diet and getting close to the end, but never getting really to the end. And this diet, I felt like I really reached the end, and I did better on this diet than any other. So I don't even know how I heard about it, or I think I was Bella, one of her friends that did it, and I was like, I'll give anything a chance. And
Right.
extreme as I thought it was, I said I'm going to put my mind to do it and do it, and I did it with a few vacations in between the whole round of the diet, and I still did it great. And like I said, I kept it off for years.
Yeah, and then of course the pandemic came, and everyone gained a little weight in the pandemic. But one of the amazing things about you is that you were able to go on vacation, do the program on vacation, which most people would think is insane.
Right.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Right. But first, I want to hear Stella's story. Stella, when you came to us, you were probably, oh God, how rude of people. You were probably the kind of person that you weren't terribly overweight, if at all. It was the kind of thing that had you told friends, they might have told you you were nuts, right? But you weren't entirely satisfied. So So what brought you to us besides Jennifer?
Yeah. So I am 54 years of age now, and I'm going through menopause.
You're
Maybe
older than
there's some,
me.
yeah, maybe there's some
Like 15 years.
women there that are watching that can feel what I'm feeling. So Jennifer and I are lifelong friends. I have been able to, witness Jen's successes. The first time she went on the program, I just want to say this about Jen. She, she is determined, and when she commits to doing something, she does it. And when she did the diet in 2017, I had actually told her about the diet. There was a woman I knew who did the diet and really transformed her body. And Jennifer was always looking to do something, and she just struggled at the end with great success at the very end, right? Right, Jen?
Yeah.
So I had I
You
knew
mean prior to doing our program?
prior. So I told Jen about the program, and I just referred her and gave her all the information, and her success in 2017. This is such a crazy thing, Jen, but you and I always talk about it. And when she lost all the weight, I said, Jennifer, so if you look at me on camera now, right? So here are my shoulders. I always said to Jennifer, your shoulders got so close to your ears, like your entire body transformed. I said, it's the craziest thing. I said, I'm looking at you and your shoulders are here now. They used to be over here. And
We never measure shoulder width, but
I
maybe
don't know.
we're doing
I don't
that.
know what it was.
Maybe
Her
that's a
whole
good indication.
Yeah, her whole body transformed. Her skin was glowing. It was just amazing. So last year, when I came to you just around this time, I remember it being for Catholics, it's the Lent season. And I always, give up alcohol for Lent. That's kind of my thing. And I came to the program, and I know, no alcohol, but I came to the program because I was having this menopause weight. No matter what I was doing, and I'm a pretty good eater and I work out, but there wasn't anything that I was doing that was really making me feel good about myself. I wasn't sleeping good. I felt puffy, had bad cravings, just nothing felt right. And I said to Jen, that program, I wonder if that would be something that could work for me. And then Jen said, you know what? I'd like to shape up a little bit myself and lose some. Let's do it together. And I'm like, I'm totally on board. Take me. And then she took me to you, and it was during Lent. And, doctor, we can say this initially, right? That I was leery. I don't even take Tylenol or Motrin. I was afraid of the supplements. What are these supplements really about? And you sat with me, and you were so patient and explained, and, told me you can go to your pharmacist. You can look at everything. It's all natural. And I'm like, really? And it was. And I started the program, and I think I came into the first week, and I said, I cannot believe that everything you told me is true, that I will lose my cravings. I will not have to have cream in my coffee. It's 1 year now. I have not put any half and half in my coffee. I still drink it black. I swore that I could never do that, but you told me I had to for the program. So, that's my story coming, and I had great success. And I'm back hanging out with you again just to tweak a little bit, because I went to Greece and Africa and did some crazy things, and I haven't been on my best behavior. So
Yeah, and
I
you're
want to get back
going
to great
somewhere else, right? So you're a world traveler, and that's obviously a challenge. Let me say this before we talk about traveling and those kinds of challenges. But the way you two, when you come into the office, first of all, like a couple of tornadoes, you're so supportive of each other. I mean, just always complimenting each other, always pushing and inspiring each other. I mean, it's really cool to see. You're clearly fans,
Mm-hmm.
as well as friends.
Yep.
And it's great. There's no jealousy. There's no anything like that. It's just all love and support. So I appreciate that. Now let's talk about challenges, because I've surveyed this over and over again. I know the problem is the keeping it off thing, especially when your lifestyle is that you like to travel, that you want to enjoy some of those good things. Who wants to go to Paris and not have a baguette or some cheese or some champagne? And this has been a challenge for both of you. Now, Jennifer,
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty amazed that you just went to Las Vegas and you were on the program. Sometimes we'll pause it, right? But
Right.
you did the program in Vegas and you lost weight. Can you explain how that's possible, please?
She's
Well,
amazing.
thanks.
Well, that's not enough of an explanation.
Pause it because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to go back to it. So if I'm on it and I'm doing well, I feel good. And I was just telling this to my sister the other day. When I started this 2 weeks ago, I felt so sluggish, tired, just for the few pounds that I gained over the holidays. And by day 3, I had more energy. I just felt different. I felt lighter, even though, I was a few pounds lighter, but really I felt good and I want to continue that. So through Vegas, I did exactly what I would do here. And I walked a lot, and it was, for me, it's easy. When you go out to restaurants, you just tell them no oils and you can pick something everywhere. And I don't know, I find, maybe because I'm happier on vacation, I find it easier to do it on vacation. And so,
I
yeah.
agree, Jen. You and I are in the minority. If I go away to someplace beautiful, for example, I mean, I'm away from all of my like emotional triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motivated in a certain way. The food is not as important. Now,
Right.
not everybody feels that way, right? A lot of vacations are food vacations.
Yeah.
But I understand it. Now, Stella, what has been your experience traveling?
I am thinking, every meal, every time I'm at the bar and I'm ordering a cocktail, I am thinking about making good choices. I really am.
In a good way or a bad way? Like
In a good way, because I'm so happy when I'm at my best. I know for women, this whole weight diet, get away from the scale, but it's a reality. It's how you feel in your clothes. It's like Jen said, you just feel lighter, you sleep better, you just feel better. So I'm thinking about it, but sometimes the choices for me, maybe I don't have the same strength Jen does. It's just harder for me.
Oh, wait. I have to intervene here for a minute, Stella, because we had this conversation. I'm going to out you a little bit here.
Yeah.
We had this conversation in the office that because, on occasion you act like you're not the powerful monster that you are, and you lessen yourself. And as a coach, I cannot allow you to do that.
I appreciate that.
You've done amazing things.
Yeah.
And you can. And have you made some bad choices? Yes. I mean, a lot of people would in Greece, for example,
Yeah.
Right.
But it was hard.
I'm not going to have you diss yourself.
Yeah.
It's easier for me because I've been doing this for years. I'm always watching, and for you, it just happened for you where you gained a few pounds from menopause and you have to really focus. So where on vacations, you were able to slide and have fun and be fine and come back and be a pound. But now you're feeling it more because it's harder for you to lose. So
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, I feel like I've been doing diets on vacation for years, so I'm a little bit more used to it.
Well, let
fair.
me ask you this, because my thing with people is make a decision, right? If the decision is you give yourself 3 pounds while you're on vacation, if you're okay with that, then that's fine. It's all a matter of what people are okay with. Anything could be rehabilitated, right? When you come back. So, what would you do differently, or what would you have done differently some of these times where you've gone away and you found yourself eating a little more?
Yeah. So when I got back, immediately I went on the scale and I saw the 3-4 pounds, and I got right back to thinking about the program and then getting back to eating less and eating clean and trying to do all that. So but then another trip came. So that's what happened to me. It was Greece, the holidays, and Africa. And all of them were big stints, 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks. But I always hear you in my mind. That's why
Oh, you poor thing, you're going crazy.
yeah, but it's a good thing. It's really a testament to your coaching and your consistent messages of just get back. It's, if you see the scale do that, get back to doing this. Don't let it go up this. Do a steak day or whatever. So still thinking about that. I just had 3 in a row, and then it got a little bit out of control. So I came back to you. It's a year later. I mean, I'm still down from when I first came to you with the menopause weight. I think I lost for a little while it was 16 pounds, and then I set my weight at 14 pounds lighter than I was when I first came to you.
Right.
And at 5'2", that was terrific for me. So I'm just trying to get back to that. But I think just hearing your voice and saying immediately get back to losing those 3 pounds right away.
Yeah.
Don't let it get to 4, 5, 6 pounds, right? That's what I could have done differently and maybe not gone on one of my trips.
Well, listen, I want to explain something about me. Now I'll throw myself under the bus. So I guess after I've done that to Stella, myself, Jen, you're next. But I probably have the world's shittiest timing. Right? Now, here's what I mean by that. I wrote a book recently called Keeping It Off. Now, I choose to write a book in an age where nobody reads anymore. So I know and I pound my client, you got to read the book. You got to read the book. It's all about the principles of keeping the weight off. There's a lot of wisdom there. But again, people don't like to read. So I'm going to have to make an audio book, or I'm going to have to do recordings or whatever. But one of the things I encourage people to do is address problems with weight at the level of smoke. Most people wait till there's an inferno and the house is burning down, and they have to do something. Think how easy it would be every time if you had a 2-pound window, or a 4-pound window, if you addressed it like this. That's what I want to encourage people to do. And there are tools that we teach you that allows you to do it. So have you guys read the book?
Yes.
You have? Okay, good. Did you get that?
Yeah, but it's one of those things you have to read again and be reminded.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I want to encourage that as well. Okay, so pardon me. Jennifer, so you lost how much weight in Vegas?
I forgot. I was at 4.8 pounds fat, I think.
You lost 5 pounds of fat while you were in Vegas for what? How long was that? An extended weekend?
Yeah, it was short. I think we were in the office 10 days after. So, well, not 10 days after. It was 10 days from the time the second time. So
right.
I'm down right now, I think, like 11 pounds.
It's amazing with the Vegas trip. And I need to address the audience now. Like, how on TV shows, like the person will turn and look straight in the camera like this. So I need to do that. Listen, when you go to Vegas, you're boozing it up. You're doing those buffets where you're walking back 20 times to get more food. And this one lost 5 pounds of fat while in Vegas. So you've got to learn something here. That's the opportunity. All right. Tell me this. What do you each find is the best part about both the program and how you feel and the losing the weight and being where you want to be? What's great about that?
I think once you just have a plan when you first start, I like that there's no thinking involved. It's just, for me, it's just so easy for me to know when I'm eating. I think when I explain it to people in 5 minutes, they're like, "Oh my God, that sounds so difficult. That's crazy. You can't do this. You can't do that." But really, it sounds crazy, but it's probably the easiest diet I've ever done. I don't know, for me. And I love how I feel when I'm on it.
How is that? How do you feel when you're on it?
I'm sure it's a combination because I'm losing weight, so I'm happy every time I get on that scale. It's going down, so that for me is just puts me in a better mood. But I feel less sluggish. I have more energy. I mean, you're on this diet using less makeup. I feel like my skin seems better a lot of the times. I just all around, I just feel better.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Stella?
I would say the same things that Jen said. I just feel better. I feel lighter. It's positivity. I'm sleeping better. I'm less bloated. And I will add, I really like the accountability factor and coming in to see you and Trish at the office. I really like that. And I think that That's a key part too, doctor. Coming in to see you, even if it's for a 5-minute check-in, a 10-minute pep talk, having Trish stay on top of us. She's so good at staying on top of us and making sure we have our next appointment. It just keeps you in that mindset of getting to a goal and having accountability.
Right.
If you're not putting me on the scale or I'm not on your scale to really see all of my results, maybe it doesn't have the same stronghold on me that I'm going to stick to what I have to stick to.
Yeah, so you both made a couple of good points, and ones that we try to emphasize, which is, first of all, this thinking thing just ruins people.
Mhm.
I see it so many times that someone will overthink things to death, try to figure things out. Like, if God forbid, a client goes up a half a pound one day, which, by the way, might be a good thing, as
Mhm.
you know, right? As you're getting hydrated, right? Sometimes the weight will temporarily go up. And I've seen people think themselves practically into a rubber room.
Mhm.
And it's so unnecessary. I mean, we've got to just surrender to the process. And then the other thing is what you said. There's a reason that you pay someone else for things that largely what you should be doing. Not completely, right? Our program's a lot more than that. It's been figured out. It changes things physiologically with your hormones and your metabolism. But
Mhm.
as far as behaving yourself, it's important to have someone who's not you, right? Who's not living in here to help you, to remind you, for example, of who you are, Stella, like the other day when you were dissing yourself, and I reminded you who you actually are, which is, like I said before, a monster, the good. So I think those points are important. Let me ask you this. There are people who are listening to us right now who, forget about, they don't know what to do, right? I'm not trying to make a commercial here, but there are people who are in a bad place. Like, what words of wisdom do you have? And you don't have to say, come see Dr. R, whatever, but just what would you have wanted to hear maybe when you were in kind of a bad place and felt out of control and not where you wanted to be? Start with Jen.
Um, well, if I was in a bad place, I just think I would really listen to your whole thing about the diet, meaning, like, don't say right away, oh, I can't do it, too difficult. I can't take this out of my diet. I can't do it. Really listen to it, because I think that scares people in the beginning. All that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. But once you really listen to the reasons why and start it, within 3 days, you're hooked on it. I mean,
Hmm.
I remember in the beginning when I first started, before I signed up, I was like, I was working in the city every day in finance. And I was like, I can't not wear makeup and not do my hair and be fat. Like, that can't all happen like at the same time. And I remember I struggled with changing the products and everything. And once I did my research and got the help from the office, it was so easy. Like I said, I say I'll give you a week. Within a week, you're down probably a few pounds. You feel better, and you're hooked. So I just think that everybody should have an open mind and go really, speak with you. And you're so what's that word, you give so much time.
I can give you a list of adjectives if you need.
Yeah. No, but I'm just
Terrific, wonderful.
getting you listen and
Yeah, go ahead.
figure it out for everybody. And I think that's, if you're at your wits end, you've tried every diet, and I've tried every diet, the craziest of the crazy diets. And like I said, they all worked in the beginning and then they stopped working. This one to me is the best. So
Thank you. And I do want to elaborate, and thank you for giving me these segues, right, where I can elaborate on, like, points that I want to make. You mentioned that that on the program, you might have to change what makeup you're wearing.
right.
And this can be an almost traumatic thing for certain people, right? Because I know you've spent years, like, finding the best stuff for you, and the idea of changing that, even for a short time, can be rough. But It's the understanding that people need to have that there are certain chemicals out there. They're literally called obesogens, right? You know, and gens, right? The second part of that word, not Genn, but Gen or Gens, is the same root word as Genesis, genetics, right? In the beginning, creation. So these are literally chemicals that create obesity. So you better believe on a detox, on a health restoration weight loss program, we don't want you to be putting these obesogens into your body. It makes sense.
And the products that I switched to in 2017, I'm still using.
Is that right?
Yes.
Like
so
what, for example?
For me to come back and do this.
Yeah. What, for example, are you using?
I changed my deodorant. I know I've been using the same deodorant for years. Some makeup products I've changed. Some skincare products I've changed.
By the way, regarding your deodorant, it's working because I've never smelled bad.
So I have to just say, when I came to you the first time, I suffered from cluster migraines, which is I would get migraines for 2, 3, 4 days. So bad. When I started with your diet, I don't know what exactly it was, but I have not had that. I get very few, if any, a month.
That's wonderful. You know, it's all about quality of life, right? I mean, that's really wonderful. And that remained like kind of from 2007 on.
2017, yes. Now I get, once in a while I get a bad headache, but I really don't suffer like.
Understood. That's very cool. And also to take off from what you said, you know, that information to you was kind of new and a little scary, right?
Right.
I feel like generally when people get scared of something, it's because there's something they're not understanding.
Yeah.
And here's a weird phenomenon. And please don't do this. Anybody who's listening to me, do not do this. Very often when somebody embarks on some endeavor, weight loss or something else, you know, and maybe they're not getting the results they want or something, right? They tend to make it about their own character. Right? You know, and they say things like, I'm out of control, I'm undisciplined, I'm whatever. And they make it about their character. And meanwhile, there's usually some piece of understanding that they don't have. That if they did have, they wouldn't have to insult themselves. I'll give you an example. Here's an extreme example, right? I've had people on the program, scale wasn't moving or the scale was going in the wrong direction. They needed to change the batteries on the scale. They're beating themselves up. They're going into their own bullshit about, like, you know, how they always fail and nothing ever works. And we've all had these thoughts. And meanwhile, it was because of the scale. So there's always, or more often than not, there's a technical thing that if people knew or understood, they wouldn't have to go down that road. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
Good. Stella's getting something out of this conversation. I feel.
Oh, I am. I always am. So I loved that all I had to think about were 6 things that I had to eat for the day. My 2 proteins, my 2 veggies, my 2 fruits. I love shopping for those 6 things all the time, buying things fresh. I love the simplicity of that. I too am still using some of the products. I still use Living Proof shampoo and conditioner. I still use Bare Essentials tinted moisturizer on my face.
Oh, a tinted moisturizer.
Yeah, it's a tinted moisturizer, so it's like a little, you know, foundation. And I still use the Ivory bath soap. You know, the pump on my loofah. Body wash. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get that word. So those 3 things I bought last year to do the diet, and I still use those 3 things. So that was great. That was great for me too.
And what I want to know, and pardon me for interrupting, but again, for people who are watching, right, and what piece of inspiration would you give them, and not just do this program, and that might come from it also, But what would you remind them of? Maybe something they forgot, or something they need to know if they're in a bad place, not feeling good about themselves.
That you truly are in control, and this really works.
Mm,
It is a cleansing, it's a calorie deficit that makes it work. The cravings go away. If you really, really want this, it 100% works.
Yes.
I like the messaging about being in control. I feel like that's what people need, right?
Yeah, yeah, you are totally in control of it. And that's a good feeling.
Mm.
You know, it's a really good feeling.
Jen, what happens to you in your life when you're feeling out of control?
What happens? What do you mean? Like when, like my life, just regular life, or when I'm not dieting?
Yeah, regular. Listen, I like. Obviously, we have a program here. We help people lose weight.
Right.
If it was as simple as the technical stuff about losing weight, I wouldn't have all these conversations. I wouldn't talk myself hoarse or write a book. I mean, there's nothing about weight that doesn't relate to other aspects of life, really.
Yeah. I definitely am a stress eater. I've always been. I'm Italian. Everything revolves around food. Every single meal.
I've heard that about Italians.
Yeah. So I grew up, eating everything, and it's just I like food a lot. And for me, diet like Weight Watchers never worked for me. Too many options, too much thinking
Mm.
at points. Way this is, like she said, too.
Well, wait, I can't hear you now. You're on mute. Your phone probably. Are you on your phone?
Sorry, I had a.
No, it happens.
So for me, sorry, my computer's going crazy right now. Okay. Yeah. So when I'm stressed, I just eat. I guess that's when life gets too crazy. I mean, like I said, I'm usually I want to say 85% of the time I eat well, I work out, and then you go off one day. That's why coming to you every week is the best thing, because when I don't come to you is when I'm like, oh, I can slack off a little bit, but I go to you because I want the accountability.
Got it. Understood. And Stella, how about you? This whole idea, and we've talked about it a lot on, when we do our Facebooks, but this whole idea about, the difference between feeling in control and feeling out of control. How does that play in your life? Is that a big thing?
It is. It is. I'm generally a happy and positive person, but when I don't feel good about my weight, and when I'm sluggish, it kind of rolls into my personality. I'm not as happy. I'm maybe a little short with my husband, with my son. I'm not as patient. I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not, I'm just not myself. I don't feel like I want to be as social. I just don't feel great.
You're an extroverted people person, are you not?
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes, particularly when I came to you the first time, and I was in that, I call it my menopause rut, but it was, it was all sorts of things. But it's very hard to be looking at yourself and caring about your outward appearance, as I do. And I don't do it obsessively. There's some people who are obsessive about how they look, but let's all be honest, we care about how we look. It's to the extent you take it, and like I wasn't staying home and I wasn't depressed, but when I looked in the mirror and it was almost like, I looked at myself, I said, that's not me. And I just didn't feel good about that. I felt like I was somewhat of like I was letting myself down and I was failing myself.
Mm.
And it was because I didn't feel good. It wasn't just the physical appearance. That's a big part of it, but I didn't feel good. And I got, I wasn't depressed. I wasn't miserable. It wasn't to that extent, but it was in my head. It was the first thing I looked at when I woke up. It was the
Sure.
first thing I did in the big mirror in my closet when I was getting dressed. I'm like, oh, I just hated putting on my clothes. And then it's not the right way to start your day.
Yeah.
You know, And then it kind of got into just not being I don't know, I just didn't feel as great.
Yeah.
Hard to say, doctor, but everybody knows it. Some people don't like to talk about it, but everyone knows it. Everyone who's overweight knows how they feel when they wake up in the morning and knows how they feel when they put their clothes on and looks in the mirror and things are not, it's ill-fitted. It's horrible. And you don't want to buy new clothes and
Yeah, and then every time you think about that, you know, you're not happy with your appearance and that you have to do something, you know, all the failures and all the negative talk comes rushing back. I mean, it's one of the things that I like about what I do is that, you know, that reverses.
yeah.
But I wanted to talk about something else because you brought up something interesting. Yeah, you brought up your husband,
Mhm.
who I still, by the way, have not gotten either a birthday present or a Hanukkah present from. And I really think that's wrong because, and this is really terrific. I remember, didn't he buy you a present because he was so proud of you?
Yes, I should go upstairs and get the card that he wrote me. He wrote me the most beautiful card. And he said, I am so proud of you. I can cry saying it. It was like, when you put your mind to doing something, you always get it done. And I am so proud of you. And you look amazing. And I hope you feel as good as you look. Right, Janet? It was such it was a beautiful card he gave me. Yeah.
There are women watching right now and saying, "Why can't my husband be like that?"
Oh my
We
God.
just made a lot of people jealous.
34 years of marriage. But yeah, he was so proud of me. And I think he saw how good I felt. I felt so good and I felt such great success, you know?
Yeah, and he shared it. It makes everything better. It makes the relationships better.
It
You
does.
know, I think this is an important aspect because, you know, not all spouses are like that. Some spouses are afraid that they're going to be left behind or that
Mhm.
interfere in your social life. If the social life is going out eating and drinking, or, you know, or they're concerned about the expenditure of the money and, you know, and all of that stuff. And your husband's wonderful. Jen,
Yeah.
you also, so your boyfriend, has he also been extremely supportive? I guess you have to say yes now because people are watching.
Yeah, no, he has been. He
Okay.
has. Yeah.
How important do you think that is?
It's very important because I told him when I started this, I said I will still go out, I'll still do it, but I'm gonna eat the way I want and don't tell me to change it. This is it. You want me to continue to go out with you? Otherwise I'll stay home for the next, you know, many days. And at first he's like, well, you can't eat that. I'm like, let me just eat the way I want. And then we go out now and he's like, did you enjoy that? And I enjoy everything so much when I'm out that I'm super happy. Like if I was eating, you know, cheeseburger and french fries. So
So
he gets
how did he respond to that when you said, first of all, I love that you were so proactive. Yes, there's going to be something that's a change, but it's what I want, and
right.
you get on board.
Yeah.
So how did he respond to that? By the way,
He was-
Stella, you're I don't know why you're drinking coffee out of a bucket.
No,
because
it's no.
your
No,
face,
this is my favorite thing. It's called
your whole
Next
face
Mug.
is obscured.
No, and it keeps it hot. Look,
Oh, that is very cool.
it's burning hot. I know it looks like a big thing, but
Give
yeah.
a
I was
gigantic-
very busy this morning. I only got one cup. This is my second cup. I have to get it in before 11. So
Understood. And I'm sorry, we cut you off there. What were you saying?
he was very supportive. At first he was like, all right, whatever. And now he'll say like, where do you want to go eat? Where can you eat something? And I'll think about what protein I ate in the afternoon. What could I have for dinner? What's the best option? And he's all for it. Like he's happy that I'm happy because when I'm not feeling good, I'm not happy. So
no, Danny is very supportive. When Jen is working and she has to get to you by 3:30 for some appointment, he chauffeurs her. He rearranges his work
He's
schedule.
never coming in. What? He sits in the car?
He sits in the car and he chauffeurs
Crack
her.
the window at least.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who
Why
has
does
it
he
better?
come? We have such a comfortable office. We can make him a cup of coffee.
I know. Well,
He's
he
very
won't.
supportive.
Yeah. So no, he's very good, which is
It's good. I mean, listen, I've seen the whole gamut from the super supportive spouse, you know, to the negative naysayers, the ones who are only thinking about themselves. And it absolutely works much better when you have that kind of support. So, well, ladies, on your men.
thank you.
Okay, I think we should finish up now. We're short of the 3 hours that I was sure we were going to go. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to discuss or was important for you to bring up or anything?
No, but I would just tell anyone who's literally who's on the fence, it's worth it to give it a shot. And if you really, really want to change, this is what's going to really change it.
Well, that's part of the problem. Most people don't want to change. They want change results. They don't want to make a change, right? Necessarily. But yes, thank you. Yeah, I came up with this mantra a couple of years ago, and it was like answering all the questions that people had in their head. So it was like, it does work. You can do it. It's worth it, and you do deserve it. You know, I think that's a good mantra for people.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Stella, you want to get the last word in?
No, I just think that I'm so happy to be one of the participants in the program, and that sometimes it's nice to hear from someone you don't know. And I think maybe if there's people who have questions, and if they want to ask Trish to say, you know, would it be okay if we reached out to Stella? I know Jen. I mean, Jen, I don't want to speak for you, but I know you would be happy to do it too. Sometimes you need somebody else that you might have questions. Maybe they're not feeling comfortable asking it, maybe in front of you, doctor, or maybe here on your Facebook Live chat. But if someone had questions, just because we're both real believers in the program and we've both experienced, Jen is much more experienced than I am, but you know, they can reach out and ask any kind of questions. I think that might be
That's
helpful.
so super nice of both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that a little bit in the past, but that's so super. Actually, you know who's done it? I've had a couple of people call my mother. You know, older ladies. My mother, she's going to be 79, and she doesn't mind me telling people. And she lost 100 pounds on the program, and so I have had people call her.
Yeah.
You know, but that's problematic because, you know, then she starts talking about me.
Oh, yes.
My son. I'm so proud.
I will call her and get the whole scoop on you for sure.
Yeah, no. There's no dishing from mom to me. So, but anyway, listen, thank you guys. This wasn't so bad, was it?
No.
I told you, nice conversation. That's all. We would be doing this over coffee or something. It's just what it is. It's a conversation.
Right.
All right, cool. So,
Right.
thank you again, and I hope everyone has a terrific day. And listen, I feel like there was some real pearls here. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
You have to say yes. You're welcome. Have a great day.
We'll see
You
you
too.
soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.